Haaland, Haaland, Mr. Guster Haaland. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Random Football. Yes, I'm super excited about this one. So, why am I bringing you Random Football on this channel? It's because I've always wanted or always had an opinion about things that were going on outside of Chelsea, you know, signings from different clubs, super leagues, reactions to things that were going on. And I'm bringing all of this to this show right here called Random Football. So you're going to see me talk about things that have nothing to do with Chelsea sometimes. Probably will bring Chelsea into it because I'm a Chelsea fan. I mean, just because I'm wearing red. This is a Turkish show. My girlfriend is Turkish. So anyway, that's a long story. But at the end of the day, what's important is this show is just me giving my opinion on what's going on in the world of football. So I hope you will follow this journey and come with me and let me know your comments and just get into it. And let's get into the conversations that need to happen within football. So without further ado, I welcome you to the first show of Random Football. Let's get it. So, as I'm sure you've seen in the thumbnail, the first show of Random Football has to do with probably two of the biggest signings in English football in a while. You know, the league obviously is being dominated by two big powerhouses, and Chelsea lacking in the back. Like, oh man, we're getting there, but we're not. Oh, we're almost there, but we're 19 points. How did that happen? 19 points, 18 points, 17. It's a lot. But anyway, again, this is not a show about Chelsea Football Club. This is Random Football. Anyway, so Nunez, Haaland have signed for Liverpool and Man City respectfully. I don't think it's respectfully, but I cannot think of what it is right now, so I'm just going to move on. So they've signed for both teams, and it's looking like the league is, you know, obviously they're the two top teams. They're the two competitors. They're the two that are probably, one of them are probably going to win the league next season, Man City. But it's interesting to see these two signings and what it has done for both clubs. I did a little deep dive into the signings that Klopp has made and that Pep has made since they've taken charge at their respective, that's the word, at their respective clubs. And it's just interesting to see the dynamics. Yes, we've spoken about, everyone knows how Liverpool have been amazing in their transfer window. It's almost like every single player that they've signed has been, you know, perfect, has fit in perfectly. But to be honest, although Pep has spent more money on players, he's actually bought or brought in less players to Man City than Klopp has at Liverpool. So it's interesting to kind of, we're going to dive into that just a little bit, just to kind of see the differences. And again, obviously, Pep has spent way more money than Klopp has, and Klopp has been smart with the business, but he has brought in more players, so that means more players haven't worked out than probably with Pep, and we're going to look into that. But I just wanted to focus on Haaland and Nunez at the start of this video. I think that Haaland going to Man City, yes, they've made this thing into a whole like, oh, it's a coming home because of his father and blah 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 and all of these things. I don't know if that was Haaland's first choice. I obviously I don't know him personally, but I don't think that was Haaland's first choice. But here we are. He has signed for Man City. He is a Man City player. He has had some incredible numbers. As a Chelsea fan, I know what bringing Bundesliga players to the Premier League does. Timo Werner. Bundesliga tax. I know a lot of people think that, you know, maybe Man City doesn't have a Bundesliga tax because everyone they bring from the Bundesliga has worked out, you know, like Kevin De Bruyne. But I will remind you that Kevin De Bruyne spent a long time in England at Chelsea before we made that mistake. My goodness. Anyway, so it is something to think about. I think with a striker, it's a bit harder because if you're not scoring goals, in 1, 2, 3 games, it starts to the media starts to close in on you, and you start to feel the pressure. And especially with a team like Man City and Liverpool, if you're not there to do the job, there's someone else that's right behind you, and that's important for both of these young men to look at. But I feel like Nunez came out of nowhere. Like, that signing for me and for the price tag, so I looked into it. So I looked at the last 3 seasons of each team. So I'm gonna look down at my laptop. Sorry, I'm not keeping eye. That's what every YouTuber says, when you're learning about how do I get into YouTube. Look at the camera always. Anyway, so obviously we know that Haaland has been a sensation ever since he made his move from Austria to the Bundesliga. Looking at his 19-20 season stats, he made 15 appearances. I think he came in like halfway through the season, so he made 15 appearances, scored 13 goals, and assisted 3. Looking at Nunez, which I don't know if you want to argue about which league is tougher, Bundesliga or the Portuguese one, he made 32 appearances, scored 16 goals, and made 3 assists. Now, you can look at those stats, and obviously Nunez played more games, and he is a young player. He is very young, so we need to keep that in mind when looking at his figures, because in 2021, Nunez goes to 43 appearances, scores 12 goals, and has 12 assists. Now, again, it's not mind-blowing. It's not, okay, you're going to sign for Liverpool right now type of stats, but it is okay. I mean, to be honest, Chelsea, again, why am I speaking about Chelsea? We signed Lukaku, and, yes, he had turmoil and blah, 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 and all of these things, but he managed 15 goals in all competition, which, I mean, if a 21-year-old is scoring 12 goals and you're scoring 15, and you are this great. Anyway, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bring him into this. But looking at those stats, it wasn't a great season. But Haaland, in his second season in the Bundesliga, made 28 appearances, scored 27 goals, and made 8 assists, which is phenomenal. It is a phenomenal season. Whether we would like to talk about how it's a lower league, and the defense is not as great, the speed of the game is not that great, but it's still a phenomenal season for anyone. Moving on to the 2021 and 2022 season, Nunez made 41 appearances, scored 34 goals, and had 4 assists. Now, that is a breakthrough. That is an amazing season for a 22-year-old to have in any league. Yes, it's great, but again, is it okay, you've had one great season. Are we hoping that you can do the same thing next season? Can you do it? Can you move to England and do it at Liverpool? Can you handle the pressure? I don't think so. I don't think that Nunez would be able to come close to those numbers in the Premier League. It should be interesting to see because of the dynamic that he's walking into. The top player at the Premier League is a Liverpool player in Salah. He is running the house. He is the main guy. I know my friend Chad. Oh my goodness, Chad is gonna. If you see this, Chad, this is just my opinion. But anyway, he is a top player. He is the best player probably in the world right now. If it wasn't for Benzema's season, I think Salah would be right up there for Ballon d'Or. Nunez is walking into this, and he needs, number one, to get to perform immediately, and to get the goals that is needed. But those goals are coming from Salah. Salah is the main target. Salah is the main person that Liverpool will look for when there's an opportunity to score. So it should be interesting to see how he fits in that dynamic. Now, do I think that Nunez is not ready for the Premier League just because he had one good season in Portugal? Yes, that's what I think. And I think that Liverpool buying Nunez, and especially because We haven't seen that since Klopp arrived. We haven't seen, him, this reactionary buy. We haven't seen him go and spend big in the market like that, which tells me that they've looked at what Man City have done with Haaland and said to themselves, okay, they've strengthened in this place where, they needed. I mean, they won the league even without it. But now that they have this kid, maybe, that takes them up from this level to that level. So we need to go out and do something immediately. And that was the reactionary buy. And that's why I think it's important to kind of see, what's gonna happen with Nunez, what's gonna happen with Haaland. I think Haaland is gonna have an easier time adapting because he was born in England. His father played for Man City. Also, the style that City plays, I think, to boost his confidence, a lot of the tap-ins, a lot of the movement of the play is gonna be focused around him, and it's just going to be interesting to see. Now, while I'm talking about these specific signings, it is important to look at Liverpool and Man City signings. So like I said before, since coming to the club, Pep Guardiola has made 23 signings. And again, obviously, Pep's 23 signing, crazy, big numbers, obviously way more than Liverpool. Liverpool have been way smarter than Man City when it comes to the players that they've bought, how they've managed those players, how they've been able to scout them. Yes, that's one thing. Fantastic. I got it. No problem. But 23 out of those 23 signings from what I've looked at, and I've highlighted Grealish, Haaland, who you haven't seen yet, and Nathan Ake, because I don't know if he's a flop or he's successful. Like, he comes in and out of the team. We're not really sure where he's at, but from watching these teams periodically, I think City have out of the 23 signings, they've had 13 that have worked and 11 that have flopped, because some of these people, these names that I've looked, never even heard of them. But if you look at Klopp, in a similar instance, he's on a half and half. So he's had 17 that have worked out and 17 that have flopped. I'm going to put the names on the screen, so maybe some Liverpool fans might disagree with some of the players that I'm calling flops, because maybe they're out on loan or different things are happening. Obviously, I'm not 100% in tune with what's going on at Liverpool at the moment, but it's just interesting to see, how many players have worked and how many players haven't. So I'm interested to see what's going to happen with these two young stars when it comes to the league. Again, I don't think that Nunez is going to work out as well as Haaland is going to do at Man City. Maybe it's a time thing, but I just don't think that one great season out of the last 3 seasons you've had is enough to put the pressure on this kid to perform at such a high stage constantly. And that's what you have to give at Liverpool. Jota is an amazing player, but he sits on the bench and so on. And there's so many players that are so good that are just not playing at, because they can't give the output that they need week in and week out. So it will be interesting to see. Let me know what you guys think in the comment. Thank you so much for watching the first show of Random Football. There's going to be way more to come. I think the next one is going to be on an interview that I saw, or not an interview, but Simon Jordan speaking on a specific topic. I will let you know when that comes out. If you want to know, subscribe, guys, and let's get in the comments. Let's have a chat and let me know what you think. I will see you for the next video of Random Football. Thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace.